Hello everyone, I am Silent Death, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program Science Harder Campaign. We are having a look at the base contract, the incredibly inventive base contract, as it pops out of Kerbal Sphere of Influence, which it should do just any moment now. There it goes. Now then, we're going to do this thing we've been doing with throwing all the Kerbals outside to make sure that they refresh their location. And then we will set up a maneuver node and get this back inside of Kerbin's Sphere of Influence. Now that the base contract is back in Kerbin's Sphere of Influence, we want to tweak our aero braking just to make sure we land on a land. Let's play those. Now then, where are we going to land? So we're pretty close to landing in the desert. What would it take? A teeny little burn somewhere. Okay, fine, do it that way. I'm thinking anti-normal. Or are you? Where's the desert? Okay, there it is. Maybe normal then. Okay, that's not working. Radial, that works. Just a tiny little burn. That's kind of in the mountains. Prograde. That's better. That's a lot better. Okay, so SAS on. Lock that in. Time to burn is in 5 hours. We'll just fast forward right to that. And we shouldn't have to be too terribly exact on the timing, just on the delta V. Towards that end, we're going to throttle these down to say 10-ish. 10.5 sounds good. And it's still only a 1.4 second burn, or 3 second burn roughly. Now let's see if that lines up. Alright, that is pretty good. We want to be encountering the planet until 10 more days, which is after we launch for Eve. So let's get ready to launch for Eve. The first vessel we're going to head off to Eve, or send off to Eve, is going to be our polar satellite. We'll get that set up. We want you to target Kerbin. And we're going to activate you. Then over on this side, we'll activate you. And we want you to target our inner system comsat. That way you'll have some communications when you're flying through whatever. And this can get set up and hopefully provide a link to future satellites. Now then, we have our values here, so we will add a node. We're going to say we want that at least in a couple of orbits, so it doesn't get in the way of things. Now then, there is more details, I think. There we go. Ejection heading, ejection normal delta V, ejection prograde delta V. So we're going to go negative 777 there, and prograde 1187.2. That gives us the total delta V. Now we want our ejection inclination 12.5 or 12.75. That is not changing. What if we bump on orbit? Nope. Turn this on so we can see how far it is. Okay, we want at least 2 hours. Ah, there's what I want. Ejection angle. Maybe that's the one supposed to be 12 point. No, I think that one's ejection heading. 123. Needs to be from prograde though. You may have to use this for that. One 3.2. Alright, that's about as close as we're going to get, and let's see if that sets us up to where we need to be. So here is Eve. And that does not look like it's where we want to go. At all. Let's do or use this one. Angle to prograde. Okay, maybe we're reading this wrong. Node angle to prograde. There we go. Still says 123. Is that way. This looks more like what it should be. I guess it's reversed. It needs to be negative. It must go in the opposite direction or something than what this says. Or, I don't know. Oh no, but there it is. That's what we're looking for. I was reading the wrong thing. Well, I'm dummy. Okay, 252.01. That is what we're looking for. That's probably as close as we're going to get. Nope, we can get a tiny bit closer. About like that. Now, does that give us pretty close to an intersect? Can I tweak this for an intersect? Let's set you as target. We don't have a closest approach thing. It does look like we're on the right inclination. No, we're not. We probably need to have another burn somewhere. Get rid of this. Going that way. Maybe right here. Okay, there we go. Closest approach. And this is our descending node. So if we make it ascending, five. And then we get an encounter somewhere over here. I think we may want to adjust this like further back though. We'll figure that out afterwards. We're just going to go delete this node. We'll wait until after the transition, because I think this is not going to be particularly accurate, but it'll give us a rough idea. So we need to do this 3 times, and I'm going to fast forward through most of them. We may want to use our KOS things to run a execute node script, and I think that's what we'll do for everything that I can, simply because they're far more accurate than I am. So let me set that up, and I will fast forward through executing all these things. We have our chaos script running. Just basically copied the execute maneuver portion from our dress probes. I did change the display settings so that it doesn't hurt the frame rate quite so much, but it does a pretty good job of executing that node. Then our Eve and Gillies hats. We're using the flight computer for this because it doesn't have a chaos component. It's not as accurate, but it does get the job done. Still gives us an encounter. And finally, we have the short range satellites with another rather long burn. One thing about the chaos thing that is better than the flight computer is that you can time accelerate all the way forward. If I try to do that on the flight computer, it doesn't hold the maneuver node very well. Why? I'm guessing the flight computer has a better SAS PID controller built in than, I mean, not the flight computer, but the chaos has a better built-in PID controller. And there goes the last one. Now they are all leaving Kerbin's sphere of influence. As you may have noticed, we all get an intersect with Eve. Get an encounter with Eve. Now we need to design something to land on Moho. Start with our probe core, of course. Then I think we probably need a decent sized fuel tank. We'll see how that goes. If that doesn't work, we'll try this. And a little bitty piddly thing. We want you to go Moho. Thrust to weight. Where are you, thrust to weight? Okay, that's a little bit much. What about delta V? Okay, that's also a little bit much. Clicky there. That's much more reasonable. We'll start strapping things on and see how that affects our delta V. Want a good amount of these. 4 should be enough. We'll do the batteries the way we have been doing them to give us places to attach things. We'll get some landing gear. Oh yeah, we also need an SAS. Some RCS, maybe, maybe not. We'll think about that. We'll definitely want one of these at some point. Here, I think are here. There we are. Should be good for there. What size RCS tanks do we have? We only have the bigger ones. I don't think we really need fine control for this, so we'll leave that off. Still have a 10 and 2000. Okay, now then we're going to put you... really want to put you like right here. You don't make things lopsided. We'll give you a whole bunch of disk space. Down to 1000, which is a little bit much. We'll drop that down. 1500. Okay, yeah, that affects the mass quite a lot. Next up, what is next? Science. That is what is next. We need an Omni antenna. I think we'll go with one of the bigger ones, like this. We'll want a dish. 90. Okay, I think we'll go with this one. That looks fine. We were doing science though, so a couple of accelerometers, a couple of these, and anything else. I'm not going to take anything heavy, and that's pretty much all the light stuff we have. We'll make sure that we have things in action groups. Toggle the panels. Toggle that. I will manually do that. Okay, so far so good. Now then, we're going to take, well, we'll need to leave the fuel in there. Let's angle these out a tiny bit so that they don't get in the way of that. That looks good. Solar panels, power. I think that's everything we need. Don't need a heat shield. Now then, we want to graft onto this. Anything else? A polar sat. Right. Can we put that on top somehow? Do this, then change the root part. to say this. And that is still upside down. Alright, I'll fiddle with this for a moment and be right back. I did that, then strapped a whole bunch of boosters to it, and we get this, the Mercury 1. Since it's going to Moho, that seems like a suitable name. The bottom part is something you've seen before. A 2.5 meter core. Some asparagus staged 45 engines. And then some solid rocket boosters to help get us that first little bit. Also threw on some winglets to make sure we can go the direction we want to. Decent thrust to weight starting off, but things start dropping very quickly once we get into the asparagus stages. Above the 2.5 meter core, at which point we should be in space, we have a trifecta of nuclear engines with their wonderful pink exhaust, and a whole bunch of struts holding on that. I'm using one of the triple tri-coupler things inverted on the bottom, though it technically only connects to one engine, so the struts are there to hold the rest of it together. And I added 3, both because we need a lot of delta V for that plane change to Moho, and I want decent thrust to weight. Then we have the fairing area, which is just our lander stuck on top of our polar probe. One thing to note is we have to do a couple of contracts with this fella. So I will be back once we have achieved orbit. Not a circular orbit, but just a orbit. And now for some contracts. We have these 2 experimental part contracts that we've had for quite some time. The rocket nuclear engine and the tiny 48-7S. The 48-7S is going to expire first in 78 days, but we need to be on an escape trajectory out of Kerbal. Our Moho window is only in 59 days, so we will already be leaving when that happens. So we'll just do this contract as we're heading towards Moho. All we need to do is take this engine here, which is the right type, the 48-7S, and we'll bring it down to right after the nuclear engines, and we'll just activate that, and then manually deactivate it and reorder the things. The nuclear engine is just a run test one, and we're already in the right area. I don't think I'm going to be launching anything else until we update, which will be quite some time away. So we'll go ahead and run this test, which somehow launched the fairings. I don't understand why running the test launched the fairings, but apparently it did. Oh, it activated it, so we'll shut down the engine. And next up, we have the base contract coming in for a landing after we circularize this orbit to 100 kilometers. Here's the base contract plummeting towards Kerbin. Going to go surface retrograde. Actually, yeah, that's what we'll do. Then we're going to full thrust. Might as well use up the fuel. And it will keep us generating power. You throttled or something? Yes, your thrust limited. And they're about to explode. There goes the solar panels. And all of that stuff. Guess we can get rid of the decouplers. They didn't stay around long. These things have very low crash tolerance, so we need to be kind of careful how we're going to land. We'll probably have to try for a vertical landing on the landing gear. I'm not sure how well that's going to work. Because we're not landing somewhere really flat. We have a fair amount of SAS if we can have some power. Maybe we should just try to recover really quickly. Alright, we'll go ahead and release the gear. Are we going to hit that water? I hope not. We might. We can kind of glide a little bit further past it. Aim for somewhere a little bit flatter. Or something similar to aiming, I guess. Kerbin surface, what's the slope? Okay, that's a pretty flat slope. No, we're not. Okay, parachutes. There goes that. Now we're going to land on a 10 meter. Oh, that's just terrible. Well, I was kind of hoping this would take up the shock of landing. Which way is the slope? The slope is 300 degrees. So that'll be somewhere over this way-ish. That's the way the slope is facing. If we go somewhere about 60 degrees. Native 60 degrees. No, that's not right either. We need to face this way-ish. Away from the slope. And hopefully that'll help keep us where we want to be. And then we're going to fast forward a bit. 300 meters and falling. Did we lose the landing gear? Okay, no, they're all there. And we'll just try to recover really, really fast. Impact time, 2 seconds. Okay, that's not accurate. Recover vessel. There we go. Okay, let's see if everyone got their experience. 1 experience gained, advanced to level 3, advanced to level 3. You got 1 experience? You should have got any experience. Advanced to level 3, level 3, level 3, level 3, level 3, level 3. Okay, everybody advanced to level 3, and that is just freaking amazing. That is what we wanted to happen. And with that, we are going to end this episode. Next episode, as you can see right here, Duna is going to become a little bit high traffic, a little bit of a high traffic area. All kinds of stuff arriving there. And then Moho will probably launch the episode after that. Something like that. But that is going to be it for this episode. Like if you like. Subscribe if you're not. Leave a comment if you have anything to say. I do read all the comments. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.